The anime begins with a group of soldiers shooting a woman. However, they are no match for her as she finishes them off using only a sword. She is clearly not human. Quickly, she heads into a room facility where a child is being held captive. She rescues the unconscious child from the laboratory, and as she exits the facility, her friend calls out to her, a woman who wipes out the army by stating that it is boring because they are a weak race. Then, in 2020, Japanese students in the bustling capital gathered at a university to receive their exam results. A teenager, Sahashi Minato, was disappointed and called his mother to tell her he failed to enter the university. Minato pondered his next move, feeling that things were not happening as he expected. Suddenly, his world changed when he witnessed a girl who inexplicably fell from the sky, and Minato was surprised to find the strange girl's ass. The girl's name was Musubi, and she thanked him for trying to catch her falling from above. However, they are attacked and chased by two twin sisters who launch lightning from their hands. Musubi took him away to escape. Then Minato woke up to find the girl fast asleep by his side. Musubi thanked him for the pajamas, making Minato very nervous. He thought it was all a dream for not eating anything, so Minato takes her out to eat, making her very grateful. Musubi tells him she has nowhere to go, so she asks him to let her stay there. He agrees, but the landlord suddenly shows up and gives a stern warning, threatening eviction if Minato continues to have members of the opposite sex in his apartment. Musubi volunteers to prepare dinner while Minato walks around town, suddenly running into girls chasing Musubi. Minato tries to signal Musubi to run away, but it is too late when the bullies attack her and tear her top to shreds. Minato rushed to protect Musubi. He weakly lifted Musubi quickly and fled with her into the alley. At that moment, she starts to feel something. Musubi tells Minato that her body is scorching. The bully appears and observes Musubi trying to lean toward Minato to kiss, and suddenly, something strange appears. After the kiss, Musubi starts to glow and grows wings. The girls realize their defeat because now Musubi has wings, and they won't be able to do anything to her. They decide to leave but tell Musubi to try her best to reach heaven. Minato enjoys watching Musubi cook dinner, but his attention is diverted when the TV host congratulates Minato. Musubi recognizes the host and addresses him as the professor. The professor expresses his disappointment that Minato did not recognize his true identity. Professor Manaka is the game master of the Sekirei Plan, the game Minato is participating in. It is explained that Musubi, as Sekirei, fights with other Sekirei and Minato as his partner called Ashikabi. The Sekirei must fight for the Ashikabi of their own choosing, and the remaining Sekirei will guide her Ashikabi to the heights of heaven. They floated in the sky, with Musubi apologizing for not knowing how they would land safely in the city. They finally descend to the ground and find that they are in the courtyard of an inn. A woman named Mia, the owner of the place, notices Minato's wound and Musubi's torn clothes. Kindly invite them inside for treatment. Once inside, a young girl named Kagari treats Minato's wounds and reveals that the woman they met earlier is the owner of this inn. They check Minato's health, and he learns that Mia is a widow. Another young girl named Yuzumi suddenly appears in her underwear and joins them for a meal. Realizing many empty rooms, Minato sees the opportunity and asks to stay with them because Minato and Musubi had been evicted from the apartment. Knowing their situation without hesitation, Mia easily accepted their request. Then Minato called his mother to inform her about his move. Minato was able to pack his things to prepare to move, but he was surprised by a sudden visit from his sister Yukari. Musubi joined in their discussion. Yukari understood the situation that they were dating and gave Musubi many of her old clothes. After packing up, Yukari went to her friend's place and wanted to invite Musubi to take a bath with her next time. Mia warmly welcomed them at the inn and escorted them to their rooms. During their stay, Minato reminded Musubi to be careful in revealing her identity, emphasizing the need for secrecy in the hope that it would not cause trouble. Then Musubi and Minato go to the bathroom together. Musubi invites him to join her in the shower, but Minato quickly declines, claiming he will shower later. Minato sits alone, contemplating how they made it safely after they fell from the sky. Meanwhile, Yuzumi joins Musubi in the bathroom and sees the mark of Sekirei on her neck. Excited, she reveals that she is also Sekirei. The bathroom is filled with tension as Musubi challenges Yuzumi to a fight, but Yuzumi tries to persuade her to make peace as she is uninterested in a fight. Chaos ensues, but Mia intervenes just in time to prevent them from colliding with the pot. She chastises the girls and sternly advises them not to let it happen again. During the night, Minato woke up from an unusual dream. He met the young girl he met earlier while touching a garden tree. She immediately asked Minato for help. A woman takes a young Sekirei named Kusano to find her master, but another Sekirei intercepts them, and the boy forces Kusano to become his wife. Unfortunately, Kusano refuses and releases her power to create a forest. After facing a confusing dream and trying to unravel its meaning, Minato and Musubi are curious after hearing an unusual sound. It turns out that Mia is practicing sword techniques, and Musubi immediately challenges her to a fight. Minato tries to stop them, but Yuzumi advises him to let it go because one day, Musubi will fight with another Sekirei, so it would be good if Musubi practiced with Mia first. Meanwhile, Minato continues his construction work, which proves to be more challenging than expected. At lunchtime, he tries to enjoy his meal, but a coworker stares at his food endlessly, and Minato is left with no choice but to share with him. Two girls come to meet them, and Minato realizes that the two girls are the same bullies who previously targeted them. It turns out that his coworker named Kaoru is the Ashikabi of the two girls and is shocked when he touches them inappropriately. Elsewhere, Kagari calls her boss after seeing the news about removing the trees in the estate. The place is Kusano's hideout, and there is even a secret message that there is a Sekirei in the estate, and the first one to arrive will be the first to give the girl wings. As a result of the message, many people want to have the girl. Kaoru is curious about the girl, so he invites Minato to come with him into the forest. Once there, Minato felt the presence of the girl asking for his help. At the same time, Musubi was worried about her master, who had not returned home, so Musubi rushed to find him. Kaoru emphasized the importance of saving the girl from someone with selfish intentions of forcibly increasing the number of Sekirei they had. Minato suddenly feels that the girl is in danger, so they rush over and find a mysterious woman trying to harm the girl. Bullies Hikari and Hibiki attack the woman, so the girl approaches Minato, lovingly calling him her big brother. While Minato was in danger, Musubi arrived just in time. She fought against the woman, causing a fierce battle between the two. Musubi's clothes were torn, accidentally exposing her boobs. The woman mocked Minato for being the master of a stupid and pathetic girl. Despite always being insulted, Musubi tries to remain calm and battle according to Mia's advice. By doing this, Musubi manages to defeat her opponent. Removing the mark of Sekirei from her opponent's back resulted in the woman's defeat. After that, Minato took her home with the excuse that she was his relative's girl. While on the balcony, Minato expressed his gratitude to Kusano because she had previously saved them when they fell from the sky. Suddenly, Kusano kissed Minato, making a stunning request to become her master. Then Kusano's friend Shina destroyed all the plants in the forest. The next day, Kusano was grieving because all her plants were destroyed. Minato tried to calm her down by saying everything would be fine. After that, Minato got news that Kaoru had quit his job at the construction site. But when he returned home, Minato was surprised by Kaoru's presence there. Mia explained that Kaoru was a friend of her late husband who usually visited only when he needed food. The purpose of his arrival was to discover Kusano's condition, but he scared her so much that Mia scolded him, and even his Sekirei hit him for always bothering others. The next day, Minato's younger sister Yukari accidentally met Shina. Yukari was instantly mesmerized to see a beautiful man. Realizing he was being chased by someone, Yukari tried to protect him despite not fully understanding the situation. Yukari hurriedly withdrew his hand and quickly escaped from her pursuit. Even Yukari takes him to her room, trying to figure out what to do next. Meanwhile, the mysterious woman with glasses continued secretly observing Minato as he ate lunch with the girls. She feels a pounding in her chest whenever she sees Minato. Even the Sekirei symbol becomes hot. She also feels annoyed when Minato always makes out with Musubi and realizes she has no choice but to resolve her feelings with her body. Therefore, she made a plan to distract Musubi. While Musubi was shopping for ingredients for dinner, the woman launched an attack via satellite. Thanks to her training with Mia, Musubi easily avoided all the attacks. Then, the mysterious woman used the opportunity to meet Minato, who was bathing. She carefully approached Minato while removing her clothes, and the strange woman introduced herself as a Sekirei named Matsu. Musubi returned home in torn clothes and explained her difficulties while shopping. Knowing that, Mia immediately asked her to take a bath. At the same time, Matsu asked him to calm her hot body, but Musubi's presence disturbed Matsu, so she caught Musubi in a net. Because the disturbance had been overcome, Matsu intended to have sex with Minato. Unfortunately, Mia did not let that happen and immediately scolded Matsu's actions. After that, Matsu introduced herself as one of the innkeepers there. Matsu explained to them about her being a target and decided to hide. At night, Matsu visited Minato's room to continue her mission, and finally they kissed, making her power rise, but their forbidden actions were caught by Mia. Meanwhile, another Sekirei, Kagari, is saved by a colleague named Tsukimi, who refuses to witness her death, so she helps her. Kagari says that Sekirei can unleash her true power if she gets wings. Therefore, Kagari advises Tsukimi to look for her Ashikabi. Tsukimi also felt a little strange lately and confirmed it was a reaction to an Ashikabi. However, Tsukimi is a tsundere girl. She intends to meet him and kill him with her own hands. As Minato tries to study, he is plagued by nightmares of a mysterious woman threatening his life. Disturbed by this dream, Minato decides to seek answers from Matsu. In their quest to find the girl who appeared in Minato's dream, Matsu realizes they are facing a formidable woman named Tsukimi, who has an intense hatred for Ashikabi and possesses great power. For his safety, Minato decides to meet with Tsukimi to persuade her to join their cause rather than harm her. Following this decision, Matsu proposes a plan where Minato acts as bait to draw Tsukimi towards him, with Kusano assigned to guard him. At the same time, Tsukimi attempts to find her Ashikabi but faces an attack from the twins Hikari and Hibiki. Feeling unable to defeat her, they decide to run away, but Tsukimi still chases them and accidentally meets Minato. Tsukimi falls on him, suddenly feeling hot, realizing that her Ashikabi is Minato. Once again, Tsukimi attacks Minato without giving him a chance to defend himself while Kusano tries to protect him and intends to attack as well but is stopped by Minato, asking her to let him handle her as he wants to win her over to his side. Realizing Tsukimi will not agree to be his Ashikabi, they intend to defeat her immediately. They show their love affair in the way Sekirei fights, combining their powers and attacking her simultaneously. At the last moment, Minato pushes her away until Tsukimi avoids the attack. Then Tsukimi tries to retaliate against the twins but mistakenly attacks Kaoru. That made him angry, and Kaoru tried to force her to make her his slave. Tsukimi tries to break free from the grip, but her strength is weakened because Kaoru has special abilities. Her inner desire is to choose Minato as her Ashikabi rather than Kaoru. When Minato confidently asserts that Tsukimi is his girl, Tsukimi falls in love with him. Then, the twins scold Kaoru for his actions and want to cheat in front of them when his intention is to help Minato open Tsukimi's heart. Tsukimi moves closer to Minato, asking him to take responsibility for the sentence. Finally, Tsukimi accepts Minato, and from now on, she declares herself his wife. Then Musubi comes to see them, and Tsukimi is overcome by jealousy, attacking Minato after realizing that she is not his only wife, but the fourth. They return to the inn together, and Tsukimi introduces herself as Minato's wife, and each girl declares themselves his wife. Kagari was surprised by Minato's ability to attract so many wives in such a short time. Even Kagari didn't expect that Tsukimi didn't recognize her when she wasn't even wearing a mask. Meanwhile, the professor instructed his assistant to advance the Sekirei Plan to the next phase. One of the professor's assistants expresses her disgust towards Sekirei's plan for being bored with everything related to him. Takami recalls a past adventure with Professor Minaka where they discovered something strange in the mountains. Their curiosity leads them to the unexpected discovery of a naked girl lying unconscious inside a tube filled with a mysterious substance. Minato awakens from his sleep and finds his wives nestled closely around him. Mia, wielding a knife, opens the door and gives Minato a stern warning about his strict stance against any form of sexual activity within her dormitory. Mia gathered them together and explained her decision to allocate separate rooms for the girls. Matsu later detected a change in the deployment of MBI soldiers, and she immediately investigated. Realizing the second half of Sekirei's plan had finally begun, they had to prepare themselves as the city was about to become a battlefield. While Musubi was watering the plants, but accidentally wet a guest. It turns out that she is Musubi's friend named Karasuba. Karasuba explains her sudden visit, which was triggered by rumors circulating about Musubi. She said she had gotten wings and was convinced of their promise long ago. They promised each other to survive until two left and fought until one was defeated. After finishing her business, Karasuba left there and met with Mia. Mia firmly warned her against making such visits in the future. Karasuba hopes to meet again with their weapons to finish their fight. Karasuba then notices another Sekirei on the side of the road and pleads with her Ashikabi to allow her to have some fun. Karasuba expresses her frustration with the two Sekirei she encounters and invites them to a duel. One of the Sekirei died on the spot while her partner escaped. The battle between the Sekirei has begun, and the mysterious white-clad Sekirei has already defeated many of her opponents and left her dying foe for dead. Meanwhile, the innkeepers continued their daily work under Mia's supervision. Tsukimi notices Minato's gaze fixed on Musubi's boobs by jokingly warning him to focus his attention on her. Later, Minato visits Matsu, hoping to invite her to join them at the table, but she is deeply engrossed in her system of investigating MBI's covert activities section. Minato approaches to get a better understanding of what has been discovered. Matsu tells him about a troubling issue involving a mysterious Sekirei that has been eliminating others and leaving their lifeless bodies behind. Matsu continued her investigation into the mysterious Sekirei that was causing her concern. Therefore, they had to be more careful and avoid the fight as much as possible, which only excited Tsukimi and Musubi. Realizing that the mysterious Sekirei was powerful, they were eager to fight her. Then Matsu noticed that Yuzumi had been coming home late lately and became suspicious of the blood stains on her pants. Yuzumi's frequent visits to the hospital to see a human were her Ashikabi. Realizing that her Ashikabi cannot last much longer, Yuzumi intends to end Sekirei's plan as soon as possible to save her Ashikabi. Knowing the situation, someone tries to manipulate her into using her power to finish off another Sekirei. It is revealed that the figure behind the mysterious white-clad Sekirei is Yuzumi. She was ordered to finish off the Sekirei named Kuno. When attacked, she immediately used her power and made Tsukimi and Musubi realize the battle there. They rushed there and met the mysterious Sekirei. Tsukimi and Musubi challenged her to fight while Yuzumi felt it was not time to fight with them. Yuzumi intended to run away from there. Suddenly, another Sekirei named Kazehana felt the fight was unfair, so she decided to help Yuzumi fight them both. Kazehana warned Tsukimi not to address her rudely, and that only Mia and the game master were allowed to speak to her. Kazehana departs with Yuzumi, leaving Tsukimi alone. Yuzumi asks the reason for her rescue and challenges Kazehana to a duel. Unfortunately, Kazehana is strong. She jumps behind her and touches her Sekirei symbol, signaling the fight is over. Kazehana offers her a deal. She will release her this time as long as Yuzumi buys her alcohol. While the others were not at home, Matsu used the opportunity to experiment with Minato. Kagari interrupted Matsu's intention to ask for additional medicine because her body had not stabilized. While Minato was drying the laundry, suddenly Musubi came down from the sky to hit him. After making sure Minato was not injured, Musubi took him back to his old apartment. They met two strangers. Musubi introduced a teenager named Haruka and Sekirei Kuno. He expresses confidence in Minato, who believes he is a good person. He recognizes that Kuno is very weak, and a loud voice is her only ability. They are determined to escape the city and avoid conflict. Previously, they tried to run through the bridge, but there was a disciplined team. They are powerful Sekirei working at MBI. If necessary, they even kill Ashikabi. Minato wanted to help them escape the city, but unfortunately, he didn't know how. He tried to ask Matsu about it. Matsu explained that if he and all his Sekirei worked together, there was a chance to help them, but it would endanger everyone's lives. Matsu asks Minato to think about it carefully because if he leaves the game or helps someone who wants to escape, then Minato becomes an enemy of MBI. At night, Yuzumi and Kazehana return to the inn drunk. They accidentally enter Minato's room and sleep with him. In the morning, Minato was surprised to see two beautiful girls naked beside him, and even his wife was surprised to ask what he had done. When Kazehana woke up, she recognized Minato because he looked like a man she admired. Meanwhile, one of the members of the discipline squad, the Blue Sekirei, reported suspicious activity in the northern region, so Karasuba, as a black Sekirei, received the information while bathing. Then, they stopped by Kaoru's place and asked for help with the escape plan. Kaoru was willing to help them because he disagreed with MBI regulations. Even Kaoru explained that the 3 regional rulers were also planning something. The only safe area is the northern region, where their inn is located. The northern region is not controlled because there is a terrifying demon, Mia. Meanwhile, Mia wanted to see how strong Tsukimi was. Tsukimi immediately launched a strong attack towards her, but Mia easily parried and launched a swift counterattack. Because Tsukimi still couldn't control her power, Mia trained her daily like Musubi. Kaoru explained the escape plan to them, but there were problems, such as MBI's surveillance satellites and the disciplinary squad of blue, red, and black Sekirei. Matsu was willing to help them by hacking into MBI's surveillance satellites, while Musubi would fight the discipline squad if she met them halfway. Unfortunately, Tsukimi decided not to participate, although Kano's weakness annoyed her. On the other hand, she felt jealous of her. This confused Tsukimi about what to do. The 1-hour countdown to their escape plan begins as Musubi quickly grabs Kano and runs to the bridge to cross the city border. Meanwhile, Kaoru kisses his girls to unleash their power and destroy MBI's information network. At the same time, Kusano catches the soldiers with her plants so no soldiers can pursue them. Takami rushed to report the satellite status to the professor. It turned out that Manaka had predicted the situation, and that's why he had prepared many troops heading to the northern region. Matsu changed their plans as more and more soldiers were heading towards Kusano's location. She quickly ordered them to stay away. Matsu contacted Kaoru to inform him of the unexpected change of plans. Kaoru said they were fine and advised Matsu to help Minato and the others. Realizing that Kusano was in great danger, Minato insisted on saving her. Matsu had no other choice. She headed there alone to save her and ordered Minato to continue his escape. When the soldiers were preparing to use tear gas, Matsu arrived, launching a bazooka toward them. That way, Matsu could secure Kusano alone. They rushed to escape from there while simultaneously creating chaos in the city by making large plants along the way. Shiina saw that it was confirmed that it was Kusano. He had always been looking for her all this time because that he and Yukari rushed to see her. Minato and the others were close to their destination, but they were intercepted by 2 guards from the discipline squad. They introduced themselves as Heihani and Benitsubasa. Musubi made Benitsubasa even angrier and vowed to eliminate her. Musubi was forcefully thrown to the ground, and Benitsubasa used her enormous strength to continue attacking her. Meanwhile, Tsukimi reminds her of how the other group members fought to help Minato. Mia begs Tsukimi not to be left behind and join them because they are willing to do anything to become Minato's wife. This made Tsukimi realize an important thing in her life, that she could not be widowed before she made a promise to him. Finally, Tsukimi decided to go help Minato with the others. The fight between them gets fierce, and Benitsubasa triggers an earthquake on the bridge. Musubi quickly moved to save Minato, who had almost fallen into the sea. Benitsubasa stepped on his finger and threatened to push him off the edge of the bridge. Musubi was so severely injured that her clothes were torn to shreds. Minato urged her to run away, but Musubi insisted on staying with him. Benitsubasa's final blow made Minato realize that the Sekirei symbol on Musubi's body had disappeared. Minato desperately tries to wake Musubi from her unconscious state and expresses sadness for her condition. Haruka becomes the target of Heihani's attack using her sharp claws. Kano approached him immediately. Kissing him, she gathered her courage to use her ultimate ability. Kano sang a song that could weaken her opponent's strength. Unfortunately, Kano couldn't use that ability for too long because her body was frail. Even so, she managed to buy time until Tsukimi came to the place. Tsukimi's anger peaked after seeing them hurt her friend and her determination to take revenge against them. Tsukimi uses Mia's precious gift weapon, a water sword, to fight them. Even though she is alone, They are overwhelmed by Tsukimi, realizing that Minato has a strong Sekirei. But Tsubasa feels that Minato will be a significant threat to her master and intends to kill him first. Meanwhile, Shina and Yukari are surrounded by enemies. A man named Hayato intends to make Shina his property, but he refuses and prefers Yukari. Shina rushes to Yukari to confess his feelings to her, and they kiss each other. This romantic moment makes Shina get his wings and immediately use his ultimate ability to repel his opponent.
World End Garden!
They watch in amazement as Musubi revives and introduces herself as the defender of love and destined to fight her opponents who stand in the way of love. Their shock was compounded when Musubi rebuked the disciplined members and claimed to be their senior. Musubi unleashes a powerful laser beam on them, and though they manage to dodge the attack, Musubi catches their legs and throws them away with ease. It turns out that the feeling of love is so strong that it awakens Sekirei, number 8 named Yumi, who is hiding in Musubi's body. Then Karasuba joins them, expressing her joy at meeting Yumi once again. But to everyone's surprise, Karasuba suddenly attacks Yumi with her sword. Realizing that Yumi has separated from Musubi's body, Karasuba stops attacking her and suggests Musubi should practice a lot to become stronger. Before leaving, Karasuba reminded them of the MBI satellite countdown that produced a laser beam that hit the bridge and caused them to separate. Minato and the others are relieved to find Haruka and Kano safe on the other side of the bridge. They parted ways there. Eventually, Haruka eloped with Kano and made it out of the city. Everyone returned to their respective lives, and Minato began to decide to become better again because he got a message from Yumi to teach his Sekirei about love. While Kezhara and Kagari watch Minato from a distance, they realize that their bodies have acted on him, so Kezhara and Kagari must prepare to become Minato's 5th and 6th Sekirei. But this anime continues in Season 2, remember to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.